Hold on, let me unmute myself.
How do you do?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Just give me a second, please. I need just to put you as to give you the role so you could do the presentation.
I am just a question. My laptop camera decided to die on me, so I'm on my phone. Would I be able to flip through the presentation on my phone?
No, then what do you recommend? Let me do it from my side. Is that okay?
Yeah, probably. Add me as a host and pull up the presentation on screen share. Let me see. If not, you know, if you can just do it on your end as well. I'm so sorry. It's just one of these.
I think it will be. I think it will. The good thing is that I will do it from my side. Okay. And
yeah.
And so we have another 6 minutes. I need just to put my to finalize everything in here. And we have two who already are here. One who are with us now. So we're gonna start at 1. We have another 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, keep them waiting in the living room. Okay. Waiting room, living room.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. No worries. I will just go to the presentation.
Yeah. So would you want to start and introduce the topic, and then I'll say a few words about me briefly, and then go straight into.
No, I will introduce you and just in a short chat. Then from there, I think so that will be a good idea that you will take it over for fully. And if I have
that's fine. I think
if I
someone
have
has entered.
Sorry?
I think someone has entered. I can see a name.
Yeah,
in the chat.
Yeah, there are 2 who are with us. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do it that way. You introduce yourself, and we're speaking English, or will you start in Arabic and then
No. It will be in English, but if it needed anything in Arabic, especially in questions and the inquiries and question and answers, then we will do it from that side.
Okay, cool. All right, no worries. Okay, I'll come in a second, just whilst you're sitting up.
Okay, take care. No problem.
So, you look completely different now.
So how is the weather in UK now?
It's better actually. Snow has gone, thank God, because it was awful. You know, it was slippery. It was too much. Now it's finally we get spring. You know, it's warm. It's nice. Much better.
Great. And how's the kid? How is he? How's the dean?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's being a little rascal. Boys, they're very naughty. So he's in the nursery right now. I dropped him off, and I'm like, okay, so he's bye-bye. And then he gives me and then he closed the door in my face. I'm like, okay, fine, bye-bye then.
So you get used to it. You will see.
They do, because he knows now how much fun he has there. Even though he's pulling this dramatic entrance, I know he loves it there, because the minute he walks in, he sees his friends, and they're doing a lot of crafts and coloring and all this fancy stuff that they love doing. But it's the age; they're very curious at this age. He's 2.
Cool. This is a very beautiful age, especially if it was until they reach to the age that they started to notice the beauty of the world and they forget you. So
Yeah, exactly.
hold on to it.
Yeah, but he's very curious, which is good. He loves reading books and he's looking at things. Not all babies are like this, but he's a good boy, but quite naughty. But boys are like this. It's okay. He's supposed to be at this age, isn't it?
Yeah. So are you influencing him also on sales or not yet?
What was that? Sorry?
Are you doing any influence to him for sales or not yet?
For sales, yeah. Well, he's already selling. He's doing coaching on the background with me.
That's great.
I'm trying to record some videos last Friday, and he was on the background. No. And I'm like, okay, is that what you think about it? And he's just, he's very opinionated. He's very loud, like quite a full-on character. So he's gonna be a handful.
That's a great.
It's good.
Okay, we have now we have 9 with us, and now they are 10. The good number, and they are increasing.
That's
so, what do you think?
Okay.
What do you think? Let me introduce you. So everyone is here. So we'll take that in advance because I'm sure people are taking this from their lunch break. And I really appreciate that.
Yes.
I hope that next time we will give them lunch. So at least that we could support everyone in that. I will just speak in Arabic, just welcoming everyone. Then I will go back to English.
That's good.
شكرا للجميع اللي حضروا. شكرا إن أعطيتونا من وقتكم إنكم حضرتوا السيمينار. أنا أحب أعرفكم على أنستازيا. أنستازيا is a coach. For sales or development, very good history, very beautiful history that I have really encourage everyone to really follow her on Instagram, follow her on LinkedIn. She's a big book of knowledge, and especially in hospitality. Correct me if I'm wrong, Anastasia. And
that's it, yes.
Yeah, and a beautiful mind in sales that everyone needs at this time. I really encourage everyone to interact. Our curriculum for today is that we're gonna have a discussion, me and Anastasia, about how did coronavirus fracture the market and how sales really, who are the good and bad, and any strategies, how can we work in that level. And then we will have an open discussion for everyone to about 10-15 minutes. And from there, we will be more than happy to interact in a higher level. Okay. Anastasia, the floor is yours. When you want me to put the presentation, just tell me.
Yes, please. Yeah, if you can pull the slides up, please. Okay. Whilst you're doing it, hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. My name is Anastasia Banks. I'm a sales and business mindset coach and trainer here in London. Oh, where am I? Yeah, fantastic. So I'll just keep on talking on the background. So as Walid has mentioned, my background is in corporate sales and hospitality. I have roughly about a decade of experience in being senior positions, company, customer service and sales, head of sales, kind of director level. And at some point then I transitioned into coaching. So I'm a qualified cognitive behavioral coach. I've done my master's in positive psychology. So all the techniques that I use within my work with clients, whether it's one-to-one or corporate, they're all rooted in psychology. They're very effective and they're tried and tested. And these are genuinely the techniques that stick. So today, as Walid has mentioned, we're talking about business development priorities, and we'll be outlining 3 core priorities that businesses can focus on to really optimize success and look for opportunities for growth. Where's me? I cannot see myself. Can you guys see me okay?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's me. Okay, doke. So if you would like to pull the next slide for me, please. So this is a brief outline of what we're discussing today. So we have the introduction. We'll dive straight into the 3 core business development priorities now. I'll explain each one in brief detail, and then we'll have a look at business success during COVID and see what companies really pivoted and what they did different. And then we'll do conclusion and questions and answers and any feedback and open discussion. Sounds good?
Good. I think so. Everyone.
Okay. Yeah, if you'd like to move on to the next slide. I think I've mentioned bits about me, so we can skip that. So that's the information about me, but there will be a recording available later on, so you can read through this at your own time. But generally, this is about me. I was in senior sales roles, and generally in my corporate level position, I was managing a sales team with an annual turnover of £8 million net in annual sales. That was roughly about 40% of company turnover in general. So before I transitioned into coaching. So if you would like to move on to the next slide, please. So these are some of my clients that I work with on a corporate level. And of course, I do a lot of one-to-one work as well. So they're based all over the world. So I work with the Lute Academy. They are based in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I had some private clients in Dubai, Deloitte UK, one of my big clients. And, you know, they're pretty much all over the world, from Russia to China to Riyadh. It's quite scattered. Right, so next slide, let's have a look at the business development priorities. So when we look at sales and business development as a growth strategy, we generally focus on 3 priorities, and in a specific order as well. So the first priority is always to look for ways of optimizing incoming inquiries and everything that you already have on your books right now before you move on to do anything else. So the second step would be for you to develop more repeat business from your existing clients. And then the third step would be to externalize development effort, like the new efforts to bring in new clients. But the third step is generally a lot more expensive, and it will take you roughly, it will cost you about 10 times more to develop different skills. Bear with me just a moment. Oh, where am I? Sorry.
That's okay.
But yeah, so these are the main 3 priorities. So the word of caution here is the reason why they're in 1, 2, 3. You do have to start at number 1. This is the basic and the foundation. What I see quite often where the companies genuinely go wrong, and this is, this is where they fail, they go straight into the 3rd level and they want to bring in repeat business without having foundation set and having any solid and robust process in place in terms of their sales strategies, marketing strategies, operations, logistics, whatever they need to kind of support the overall mechanism. They sometimes oversee it and jump things straight into attracting new leads. And this is a big mistake, because even if you're a new company, if you're a completely fresh startup, you still need to have relevant processes in place set up in order for you to successfully convert the incoming leads, to make sure that your staff is adequately trained, that they're able to deal with the influx of inquiries, that they are aware of your business, they know the product and services, so they can sell effectively to the clients. And this is the foundation. So always start with number 1 before you go to number 3. And I can guarantee you, if you align the 2 first priorities and you optimize all the opportunities that you have there, and you have a lot, and I'll discuss the quick wins with you now, you know, number 3 sometimes will become even irrelevant, because you'll have enough of consistent leads coming through and you'll have a nice pipeline of clients and inquiries waiting for you. So let's have a look at the first priority and discuss this in a bit more detail. Walid, if you'd like to switch the next slide. So first, and the most basic way you start is to convert what's already incoming. So this is where you're being reactive. So in sales, generally, all activities can be brought down to being reactive and proactive. Reactive is when you're dealing with what's already incoming without you making any efforts. Proactive is, this is when you're proactively looking for new business. So this is a bit more advanced, you know, kind of, this is your 3rd priority type.
Anastasia?
Reactive though, yes.
Yeah, can you really define reactive and define it a little bit, just to make people understand?
Yeah, okay. So an example of reactive priorities would be answering generic emails that are already incoming, you know, answering phone calls that are coming in without you looking proactively for clients, and doing general admin. So processing customer inquiries, depending on the type of business that you're doing. So it will be like, if you're on social media, answering DMs and comments. And so you are reacting to customers' inquiries, basically. So you're in reactive mode. Reactive mode is where you're dealing with daily activities generally. Anything else, like any admin, clearing emails, replying, sending relevant information if clients ask to. This is, day-to-day activities. Proactive, though, this is where most of your inquiries will come from. But to get to that level, you have to have staff that's adequately trained, people with relevant experience, and this is where you would see senior sales, managers, they would do generally proactive stuff. So this is more of an account management when you really build relationship with your clients. You're proactively seeking new opportunities. You're thinking outside the box as a business leader or as a head of sales. You're thinking, okay, so where can we get more business, partnerships, collaborations, different offers, anything else that could generate revenue. So you're proactive. You are one step ahead. You're thinking outside the box. And as a rule, it requires a certain level of expertise in sales, in business development, in your niche, whatever your area, expertise is, right? And it requires seniority as well. So I call it practical wisdom. You can't be proactive if you have just, a few months or years of experience in your field. You have to be an expert. You have to be able to see opportunities. And it takes time to build your skills to that level, isn't it? It takes time, effort, continuous professional development, trainings, and generally, the culture should be supportive in a company as well to allow these proactive activities. So the leaders should drive this, because in most companies, what I see, they're just happy with what's incoming, but that's not enough. And then crisis happens, and then what you're doing?
Yes.
Your world completely upside down, and then companies freezing, literally thinking, whoa, we haven't expected that. But because they're not prepared, because most companies, they are in reactive mode 80% of the time, thinking that, oh, that's great, we have inquiries coming in, they're converting them probably not that great anyway. If you look at their conversion rate, it will be quite low, because generally they don't create accountability. And this is the other major problem that I see with companies. If there's no accountability for their sales team, reactive activities will get complacent. People will get complacent because there are no consequences for them. If you want your business to be successful from sales perspective, first of all, you have to put sales as a center of your strategy for anything, because even charities, they still want to make sales. They want to make revenue. We're here to make money and make business. But sometimes there are multiple factors that get in the way, fear of, growth or whatever, people with limited mindset, not being able to see opportunities for growth. And in that way, people become complacent. Your sales team, if you don't have regular checkbacks with your sales team, then that's the problem. And this is generally one of the major issues that I see. That's why I said, start with number one. Before you go into proactive activities and look for opportunities and try to gain new clients, you have to get the basics right. So you learn to walk before you run, if that makes sense. And this is the first priority, isn't it? So the first priority, you have to make sure that whatever's incoming, can I just ask, someone has a mic unmuted? Can I please ask for everyone to mute their mic so there's no background noise? Because, so I don't get distracted by the background noise, please.
I think so. Everyone is muted. No.
Everyone muted?
No, I got
Great.
it.
Okay.
I got it.
Yeah, fabulous. Yeah, it's just little, then when we are ready for Q&As, we'll welcome everyone to unmute mics and join in the conversation.
Sure.
Okay, so first priority. So as I've mentioned, one of the most common problem that I've seen here and I see today, that the staff is not adequately trained. So what you do is obviously, for you to get the basics right and to make sure that when clients inquire about your products or services, you have a streamlined sales process. So one of the quick wins, this is where you genuinely lose money. No one's picking up the phone when the client calls. They will clone someone else. Yes. You have out-of-date information on your website. Like if you have website in both Arabic and English version might not be, the wording might be off. It might not be selling the product or services in the right manner. So This is what I say, you have to make sure that your sales and marketing collateral is up to date. This is like the basic. Anywhere that you can be searched online, if any information that is online is searchable, your YouTube, your social media, your website, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, doesn't matter. It has to be, the message has to be consistent. The wording has to be consistent. The information has to be up to date, because otherwise, it's off-putting. You're losing the trust with clients if you're giving one information and then they inquire and then you're saying something different. So this is the absolute basic. Get this right. Make sure that you're sending out the information that's relevant for you. Then streamline sales process. So this is where you put yourself in your client's shoes. How easy it is for your client to get all the information and to buy from you, to confirm your services, to inquire about it. Because some companies, they make their website so complicated, or they make the process so complicated that it's off-putting. People, when they visit your website, genuinely clients want to know, how can you help them? How much it's going to cost? These are the two key kind of crucial pieces of information. So make it easy basically for your clients to buy from you, to do business with you. Put all the information required. Think from your client's perspective, because sometimes people talk in a language that will attract, experts, but you're talking to clients. So put your client at the center of all of this. So obviously ensure that you have regular team briefings. Put accountability on your team, because if you see that you have a phone is ringing, you have emails, but you have 0 sales, that means you have a conversion problem. And this could be down to your team not being adequately trained. They have bad training, they're tired, demotivated, maybe they're working awkward times. Sometimes maybe they're not there to answer the phone when the phone rings. You have to analyze all this data and optimize this, because this is where you're draining money. If you have a CRM, absolutely, you need to review that, make sure that it's up to date, that there's no double ups in context, and that you're actually using it. Because some companies just compile emails without even sending anything to their clients. They don't do it. And this is where you, again, you're losing money. And overall, always be troubleshooting sales cycle. You have to be like a step ahead. Review the sales for the next quarter or 2 quarters ahead and see where the quieter period and what you can do. This is where you become proactive. Because you're not just reacting to what's, yeah.
Can I ask, because I'm trying to make some more clarifications. You're reminding me, or basically you're putting a spotlight on a very important thing in customer experience, which is knowing your customer. Knowing the customer is one of the basic tools, which I'm sure that you're aware of, is the avatar and the persona. Is that here, especially when we see on the 4th point on the quick wins, which is the CRM. If people are not utilizing, or any organization are not utilizing CRM correctly, here it means that they are moving from a CRM to a ticketing system. So unfortunately, this is what we see in a lot of organizations. They are not capable of supporting the other departments like sales, like let's say HR, even marketing. All of these are unified departments to support in one important objective, which you have highlighted, which is sales.
Sales,
yeah, exactly. Without sales, I think so. People are just being as a charity organization. Charity organization, it means you will never understand and know how we will be like Amazon or Apple. Amazon and Apple are utilizing each touch point, are utilizing 100% each one of them. Sorry, I just wanted to...
No, you're making a very valid point. That's why I'm saying that CRM is important. If you use it, absolutely. If you're not there at the level to use the CRM, or at least, have your spreadsheets in working order, because you do need to keep regular check-ins with your clients, because otherwise you won't be able to move to the next step. This is the priority number 2. This is where you get more repeat business from your clients. So CRM is a central part, but also CRM doesn't run itself. You have to have a robust marketing strategy in place, inbound, marketing, like sales funnel or anything else to support it. Both departments, both sales and marketing, they work together. But to win and to become successful at this day and age, especially like since March last year, when we all know what, you know, pandemic happened, you have to put sales at the center of your strategy. Because sometimes companies, they focus too much on building a brand, having a specific, I don't know, persona around them.
Yeah.
But forgetting that actually we're here to make money and to do business.
Yeah.
So think about, but client is king. Clients pay for all of us.
Yes.
If you're focusing on yourself, that means you are forgetting about your client.
Yes.
Simple as that.
You're right.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and that leads us to priority number 2. If you'd like to switch to the next slide, please. So priority number 2 is basically when you start developing more business from your existing clients. This is where you start utilizing your CRM, but you can only do that if you are, you know, you can't just send random emails to people if you've never been in touch with them. You have to prime your database and warm them up. They need to become familiar with your services, because if you've never done a solid marketing strategy, if you never had it, then all of a sudden emailing your clients asking for referrals, for instance, or saying, hey, we have a new product, would not probably go down that well. So priming your audience means that you are keeping in touch on a regular basis via different points of contact. If you're on social media, LinkedIn, website, emails. So there are multiple ways how you can be speaking to your clients, isn't it? And how you can be getting in touch with them. So priority number 2 is about getting more business from them. So this is where you see opportunities for cross-sell and upsell, to ask for referrals and introductions. This is quite typical. Refer a friend will give you, you know, added value. Most companies say, you know, here's £10 to spend with your next purchase if you introduce a friend. Bounce back offers, these are very, you know, very successful and, you know, quick win to get more business. And a lot of companies actually doing it at the point of checkout. They do upsell and they do bounce back at the same time. You see quite often when you buy something, and at the point of checkout, they say, whoa, how about you go for a slightly premium product, but we reduce the rate for you, and here's another voucher if you reduce it. So there are multiple opportunities for you to do that. Bounce back offer literally just entice you to get more clients in. Subscription and membership, this has been probably the most successful strategy since pandemic happened. And we'll discuss that in a bit more detail, so I won't talk much. And the last kind of that comes on my mind is diversification. This is genuinely when you are going into different market, not just geographical, but gender market. You know, if you are a male dominant, like male focused company, maybe you're introducing female focused products, different age as well, different collaborations, and different services that might not necessarily be your core kind of product or service, but think like how Disney acquired Pixar. So that's diversification for you. How Facebook acquired Instagram, that's diversification. So there's a lot that you can do within this second priority to even like start thinking outside the box and say, oh, hey, where are opportunities for us? What can we do? What can we offer to our clients to not only generate more leads, but to bring value to them? So from like business development perspective, you always should think, you know, what value can you bring to your clients? And of course, if you're bringing more value, that means more money for you, more income, more sales, increased revenue.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just for me to understand, if I take the 3 priorities before I go to the third one, we go to the third one. It's like, you know, I'm putting circles which are related to the strategy of sales. It means the first circle is I'm getting in touch who are existing customers, partners, new strategies. All of that is on the first circle. Second circle is the new customer, which is number 1, which you have highlighted in number 1, which are new leads. How can I attract them? How can I utilize them? How can I work on them? Am I correct in that? So
the second circle would be your existing clients, but you are getting more, you're getting repeat business from them. So it's the same client, but you're getting repeat business via bounce back offers, upsell, cross sell, you know, by offering them more.
Clear, yeah. You want me to go to
the third priority? Yeah, and the third priority, this is where you solely look for completely new clients, but generally before you go there, you still have to make sure that you have the process lined up, because I see it so many times, as I mentioned before, companies eager to get new clients without having a working website, without having any relevant information available, and then it just creates so much frustration from a client perspective that they're not able to get in touch with people, they're not able to gain information, and it complicates the sales, like the buying process. So before you get these new people, you have to make sure that the staff that you have on board right now, the resources that you have, is enough, that it's adequate level of resources, not just manpower, but they have the right skills, they know what they're selling, they've been trained, they can not just sell, but they're able to develop this long-lasting relationship with a client. It's not just about sales these days, it's about optimizing this relationship with clients. Social selling is about nurturing the connections that you have with your clients, and you can only do that by optimizing the sales and marketing process and having a very solid customer care. Because a lot of companies forget about the client. Once the clients get on board, they completely ignore them. They forget about them. The customer service is genuinely shocking in most companies, even large companies. Like, look at, you don't need to go far. British Airways is a prime example. One of the biggest airline companies in UK with the worst customer service ever.
Yes.
They're only, as long as they're taking your money, they're quite happy. But once they have your money, they don't know you. They don't want to talk to you. You can't, like, that's it. They totally forget about you. And this is where this is where you shoot yourself in the foot.
Yes, unfortunately, a lot of businesses fail in completing the cycle of owning the customer and really investing in that area. Unfortunately, a lot of them are utilizing the regular sales funnel, which is the normal one, which is either, again, knocking doors or either marketing tools, instead of really utilizing what they have from sales and after sales to really be a differentiator in the market.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it's not only in UK and Saudi, it's all around the world. I think so. It's something that very hard for people to really understand. It's like you're telling them, look, I'm taking you to heaven, but no, I don't want to go to heaven. I'm very happy where I am. I want to okay, it's your call. And then
it's quite hard to change, Vali. People are quite resistant to change because, for them, sometimes it's almost like ego gets hurt. A lot of business owners would think, oh, but I've created this way and it's not working. That means what? I'm stupid? I'm not stupid. So we'll continue doing what we're doing. So there's a lot of pride and ego sometimes that gets in the way of doing business, which is a shame, to be honest, because if, as a business owner, if you don't see the opportunities for yourself, your business will never flourish. If you don't see the value of investing in your team, you will never make more money. If you don't see the opportunities in front of your nose, if you don't look outside the box and see what other people are doing and what's going on, if you are not reacting fast enough to the current situation, you will never become successful, market leader. And if you don't put your customer at the center of it and think how I can become better for my clients, for my customers, how we can optimize experience for them, what else can we offer them, added value, what would they, if you don't listen to them, to their feedback, again, clients would leave because they will feel, unheard, misunderstood, and not valued. And clients pay for all of us. I cannot stress this more enough. It's really surprising how some companies don't value that, because, and it genuinely happens with the large companies like, British Airways, for example, or other, mobile providers or, internet providers, because they're so big. Losing one client doesn't mean anything for them, to be honest. And sometimes this is where the problem is starting. They, because they are so big and so powerful, they monopolize the area. And they think that it's, oh, you know what, we're big, no point to invest in customer service, which is a big mistake, because if you don't have good relationship and good customer service, you will never be able to upsell and cross-sell and ask for referrals and really get any other business from this person. If they feel mistreated, they would go elsewhere. And a lot of people, actually, there's been a research done that a lot of people actually would rather pay a bit more money that get better treatment than pay less and be completely ignored by the client, by the company. So this leads us to the third priority, which is the last one. And I really urge you, before you go into this priority, you do have to get your basics right, and you have to get your ducks in a row before you get here. So this is where you go out and externalize your business development efforts to bring in new leads. And the two kind of top opportunities that are very effective these days is to have a robust sales and marketing funnel. This is where inbound marketing comes in place, where you have evergreen offers like webinars, pre-recorded courses, like any other services that generate income on a background for you without you being present or involved in that. You just set it up once and it's running, whether it's education. So think like online platforms where they sell courses online, like pre-recorded courses. That's evergreen offers, webinars pre-recorded, any other services that people can just pay for themselves and download. And sales funnel comes in quite handy with that, because it allows you to have a consistent stream of leads based depending on your lead magnet. You use something as a freebie to entice people to download, buy. Usually it's for free. They download something, you get their emails, you get a new client, and this is how you start, like, you know, you get them into a cycle to start winning business from them and get to know them. So, and this is where the companies that became successful during, you know, since last year, since COVID happened, most of the companies who stood out, if you want to bring the next slide, we'll go to some successes now. So the companies, like, if you look at Disney, you know, Zoom, Amazon, Peloton, they all have one thing in common, and that's subscription. Subscription-based companies have been massively outperforming their own just product-based peers. So product-based without any subscription. So they just sell products online or, you know, in brick and mortar kind of establishments. And there's been a research done by Financial Times. If you Google that, you know, there's a whole like top 100 companies in 2020 in terms of revenue. And of course, you know, Amazon will be the top one. And like 90% of those companies would have a subscription or membership going on. So companies with subscription-based offer, they genuinely show like 6 times faster growing revenue rates as opposed to just normal companies who sell services online without the ability to have subscription rolling in. Then, you know, if you look at the other statistics, how from demographic perspective, 62% of 18 to 34-year-olds have 3 or more services on subscription. I probably have about a dozen, if not more. And 56% of 35 to 44-year-old have subscriptions. So it's a massive geographical, you know, like if you look at demographics, from 18 to 44, the catchment area, and the numbers are outstanding. 62% have subscription. So this is the way forward. You know, subscription and membership has been really the this is what makes you or breaks you. And companies who embrace subscription during, especially from start of March last year, they still show growth of 12%. Not quarter on quarter, but they've done Financial Times has done an analysis on subscription-based company in terms of sales revenue growth for the first 6 months in 2020 and the last 6 months of 2020. And this company showed another 12% increase in sales. And that's just outstanding. And that just goes to show that if you're not online at this day and age, if you're not fast enough, if you're not, if your sales process is difficult, if people are struggling to get to know you, this is a absolute disaster waiting to happen in terms of business prospects, I think, for your business. What do you think, Walid?
Yeah, I'm 100%. I'm with you, because this moving to any organization. If we see organizations or companies who are working on the subscription, it means that the pattern of continuous deliverables and services on the same level are really crucial for this client to continue. Because in any time I can say, sorry, unsubscribe, and he's dead to me. So I don't want to continue with you in this relationship. So I'm putting the power here in the customer level. So the customer has the power either to continue with you because he saw something either added value to him or something beautiful that he would like to continue this relationship. So subscription means it's a relationship with me.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So when you want to build that relationship, it continues and says, okay, this is how you need to do it. You need, as we go back to what you have said at the beginning, we have to have the basics. If we don't have the basics, we will fail. We will fail. A lot of organizations are jumping to go to technical solutions, jumping to, as we say in Arabic, raqmana. They are doing raqmana or automating all of that. Unfortunately, one order and you know that they have failed. They fail. So, I think coronavirus, it's not just that because automation is there, but no.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
No, it's not that the reason. The reason is that, okay, now show me how can you own me for another month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, that's what I said at the beginning. You need to streamline your sales process. If you have subscription running, that means the payment is being made recurring without you having to do anything. The system takes it automatically. And having a subscription in place, whether it's a little webinar or whether you sell your services based on monthly subscription, you just break down a large chunk of money into, I don't know, 6 months payment. It ensures that you have a consistent stream of revenue coming in, but also subscription is a very it's a passive way for clients to get to know you, know your services, and to familiarize themselves. And the beauty of it is that this is how you build relationship and rapport with people. Rapport means trust, but rapport can only be built on a feeling of commonality. Mm-hmm. With subscription, you hit all these boxes because people get to know you, they become familiar with you, they become comfortable with you. And genuinely, we're quite lazy mentally. Mm-hmm. Like once we sign up to something, it will take us ages to change. And then we think like, oh, starting all over again, somewhere new platform. Oh, I'd rather stick to this one because I already know them. This acts as a massive, what is called waiting block. And waiting block is something that will keep your clients with you, even if you are a bit more expensive than your competitor. But familiarity, this is what sells because you are relatable to them. They know you, they feel comfortable around you, they feel safe with you. And it's an absolutely beautiful way to grow your client base. That's why all these companies like Zoom and, Netflix and Disney Plus even though most of their parks were closed, launching Disney Plus allowed them to offset the loss. Yes, they showed overall loss during the year, but still, you have to be online. You have to be present these days. If you're not online, you're dead to people, basically.
You're right.
Because I don't know any other way to put it nicely.
Yeah, and even if you're online, it means you're giving exposure, not just the people who are around you. You're giving exposure, moving to another city, another country, another
region,
another continent, even.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Opportunities are endless, whether you're doing podcasts to educate your client on your services or entertainment, or you're doing webinars, or you're doing seminars, or you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. Being online allows you to expand globally. You don't have to, I'm here in London, but as I mentioned, I'm speaking to you right now. Yeah. And half of the people probably on the Zoom, probably all over the world as well, which is the beauty of it. It really takes the boundaries away, but you have to be able to embrace these opportunities, which leads us to the last slide. If you would like to put some key takeaways that I would really like to highlight. So the three kind of takeaways that I want you guys to take away with you and just really take on board. So the first one, I always urge my clients and everyone that I speak to, to really reimagine your customer journey. You always have to put yourself in a client's shoes, and you need to know how it feels on the receiving end. Mm-hmm. If you're thinking from your perspective, I had clients that would say, well, it doesn't work for us. And I'm like, well, you're not working for you, you're working for your clients. If your client is asking for flexibility, see the where you can become more flexible for them. Otherwise, you would lose that. But sometimes companies can become a bit more stagnant and stale and too comfortable in their position and lazy to change because it costs them money. It might cost them not reputation, or there are costs involved generally to change. But with this, it comes new opportunities, and this is what they don't see. They focus on negativity too much, and they're forgetting about the client. They're focusing on their comfort zone rather than the client needs. So as I've mentioned, put sales at the center of your strategy. If you don't do that, then what are you focusing on, and what are you doing in business? For you to be able to see opportunities, you have to literally leverage your sales process and discover the new client needs. And you can only do that if you're listening to your client and listening to your feedback. If the client is telling you something, if you're seeing the trend in sales, if your certain products are doing better than others, try to analyze it and understand why is that. And this is your opportunity for growth. So generally, what I would say, the good kind of formula for you to see new opportunities in the times of crisis or challenges, first of all, you need to know your strengths. You need to understand what you're best at, what are you known at, what's your VAP, what's your unique selling point, what's your wow factor. Then based on these strengths, you look for new opportunities. Based on your strength, what opportunities do you see? And this is where the brainstorming comes in place. Once you outline these opportunities, then you start aligning your aspirations, your business goals with these new opportunities. You merge them, and then you create a solid action plan and you put the wheels in motion. But to do that, you have to be willing to look around, open up, and you have to be flexible to spot these new opportunities. And sometimes, and I do understand that change can be quite scary, can be difficult. You know, we all fear the unknown, and it's okay. But if you don't start embracing the change and the opportunities, then you are missing. You're losing money. You're doing damage to your business, I think. What would you say?
True, 100%. The beauty of what I'm listening is that, from a customer experience perspective, from my side, there are 2 touch points that you have highlighted here are 100% customer experience. It means that there are areas that sales and customer experience and marketing are complementing each other. So, if I take it like, in a soccer team or a football team, basically, there is the striker, there is the midfielder, and there is the goalkeeper. It's very clear that the sales are the strikers. So these strikers, you want them to get goals, you need to have the midfielders and the goalkeepers knowing the journey, knowing how to pass it, and knowing how to train them and let them reach. Business development, which is you for sure, one of them, is that on the midfielders. They are the people who are really linking this to that and understanding that everything is there. And for sure, the defenders and the goalkeepers are 100% are the voice of the customer, which are the customer experience and the customer service. They are the company's voice, the organization voice. So it's very simple. Any organization complements that, even in so simple ways. It doesn't need to be on a high tech level. Simple. Make it, as you have highlighted at the beginning, simple. Make it simple for your customer. Even make it simple for your employees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think so. You will be in a better position than what you ever think.
Absolutely. It's not just for your customers, Walid, because if you think from your team perspective, if you have a complex sales process that no one understands and they cannot explain this to a client, then what are you doing?
Yes.
What are you doing? You're killing any productivity from your team perspective, because if they imagine how difficult it is for them to deal with frustration, if clients are frustrated, angry, and they take it out on your customer service because your sales process is complex, sometimes people just complicate things without any need for that. Just keep it simple. Simplicity is the best way to go about. Keep it simple. Keep it like foolproof. Keep it like you're talking to a 5-year-old, so everyone can understand that. Yes, you are the expert in your field, but you don't have to use complex language or jargon or to complicate things so much that it's putting people off, because you are doing business with not the other experts, right? You're doing business with everyday people, and you have to put this in mind. But also you need to put your team in mind and how easy it is for them to process the leads, the sales, the inquiries, because if the whole sales cycle is complex and difficult for them to process, it will take time for them to convert the leads. And again, you'll be losing clients, you're losing money, you're draining money.
Correct.
And you are upsetting your team as well. The team that is demoralized, that is demotivated, is no good for anyone.
Yeah, correct.
So you have to remember that. So it takes two, isn't it, to there are customers, but also your team is servicing your customers. You have to look after both.
Yes.
You have to look after both for success, because one doesn't go without the other.
100%.
So it's very important to invest in your team as well as in your customer experience. It goes both ways.
Yes, 100%, because they are the people who are delivering your vision. Your employees, if they are not in that level of of really moral understanding. And I think so. Companies or organizations will face a lot of problems, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think so. Let me see if we have any other slide. No, thank you. So
no, this is the last slide. So now welcome any feedback. Let's join, guys. Join the conversation. Your thoughts. How did you find it? Yeah.
We have Naeem. Okay, I will take 1 minute. Just let me release the sharing. Naeem, just give me a second, please.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let me remove the sharing. Stop sharing. Yeah, we are here. Where is Naeem?
Yeah, absolutely. So now is good time. Let's discuss, guys. What do you think? How's your business doing?
Hi, can you hear me both?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation today. It's been fantastic to hear both of you and your opinions. So yeah, thank you for taking my question also. I thought something that would be fantastic to touch on now is how important do you think doing your competitor analysis and, you know, keeping on top of your industry is to business development moving forward as you pivot out of the pandemic?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think it's crucial to know who are you up against. I don't necessarily see sometimes, you know, people as competitors. They are my allies in most cases, because there are plenty of clients for all of us in any industry. But it's good to have your ears to the ground and understand what others are doing and how they're doing it. But what's more important is to look at their customer service and the feedback and the reviews the clients are leaving, because this is where you genuinely see the frustration, the challenges, and anything that people are not happy with. And that means this is the areas where you can optimize, and this will help you to stand out from the crowd and to become a market leader in your niche. And this will help you to niche down as well, because once you have this niche, and if you are, you know, having some very unique proposition paired with amazing customer service, then really there's no competition for you, because we all have different experience, we all have different background, and we have different way of handling business as well. But yes, absolutely, you do need to know other players in the area just to see, you know, what's going on, what are they doing and how they're doing it, and see if you can learn something from them. Absolutely, which not everyone does it. What do you think, Walid?
From my side, 100% that I agree. On top of exactly what you have said, but with the competition in the market, especially in the fields of, you know, technologies. An example now, if we take only the contact center solution, you have more than 10,000 solutions in the market. They are competing to each other, either prices, either services, either open sources, all of that. You need to have really a footprint everywhere to really first understand your really segmentation of clients. This is one thing. So you don't invest more than what you need. And so really in that. And the second thing, which is very important, as Naeem have said, you need to have a very open ear to your competitors, understanding where they are approaching, how they are approaching, how they are approaching the market. Where do you need to develop? They could be a step forward than you. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to have someone that you are challenging.
Yes.
Continuing, I feel that continuing that you don't care, you are, you know, basically number one, it will not continue. Believe me, Corona showed everyone, even if even if you are a genius, you could be hurt. You don't know.
Absolutely, yes. If you're not careful, if you get your ego, or, you know, like I said, sometimes people get too comfortable. Once they get to a certain level, and if they're thought of market leaders, or they dominate the area in their field, they, in 9 cases out of 10, they will become complacent and stagnant. They would lose their competitive edge, they would lose their spark, because they're so comfortable in their zone. And this is where the hungrier, the newer company, with more ambitious, they're bold, they're audacious in their approach, because they are willing to try different things. But you do need to keep an eye on your competitors. That's absolutely that's an amazing question, Naima. Thank you for asking us, because if you don't understand what others are doing, then how can you differentiate yourself? And also, if your client says, oh, I've been speaking to so and so, they offered XYZ, then how can you counteract this objection or this hesitation to start with, if you don't even know the other players in your field as well, isn't it? You have to be up to date. even to see what they're doing. If they're doing it successful, then maybe you can do something of that, you know, in your own way, of course, in your authentic way, and, you know, make more money from that as well, isn't it?
That's been fantastic to hear both of your opinions. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Another thing I thought would be fantastic to touch on is a lot of people are saying due to the pandemic, customers are now changing their buyer behavior. So they want to spend their money with companies who align their views with theirs, perhaps, you know, their corporate responsibility, their story. How do you think people should go about putting across their, you know, their personal story or their brand views now, if that kind of makes sense?
Yeah, totally. I think it's important to show the behind the scenes and to show you. So for example, from my experience, from my perspective, I am the product and the service. So, and people buy people first. People relate to people, and you have to relate and resonate with them. And that is basically on emotion. You know, fear of missing out is probably one of the strongest ones in terms of buying. But as you've mentioned, people are very careful now where they spend their money or who they spend their money on, because especially since pandemic happened, there's this scarcity, you know, the whole mentality of like, I'm not sure what's tomorrow. You know, sometimes people feel a bit insecure in their position, so they think twice before they go and spend their money. And this is where the companies with outstanding customer service and very strong messaging and of course branding, they stand out, you know, because you know, we want to relate. You know, it's one of the deepest psychological needs that we have. We are social human beings. We need social interaction. But what's most importantly, we want to feel important and appreciated as human beings. You know, this is a very deeply rooted, almost like egoistical need. So yes, people are more picky, and you can still benefit from that as a service provider, but you do have to put more of yourself out there and almost show your vulnerability. If I say it, you know, in a way that you are authentic, you're true to yourself, you're true to your values, because you're not following the hype, you're sticking to what you are doing, what you're best at, and you're educating your clients on that consistently. Because if you just mention something once, it's not enough. You have to be repeating the message over and over again. Why you're different, what makes you stand out, what relevant experience you have, what makes you unique. And this is genuinely where I would say, look at your VAPs, your values. What do you value? What's your identity? How would you like to be seen versus how they see you? And what's your overall purpose? What are you hoping to achieve? Are you there just to make money, or are you there to empower people, to make their lives easier, to bring some value to them? If you keep this VAP strategy in mind, that's a winning combo, combined with your authentic self that you're putting out there. What do you think, Walid?
True, 100%. If we go back to the subject that we have built, which is on the subscription, we said relationship. It's all about It's all about relationship. So yeah, when you are true to any client, which is B2C, B2B, even B2G, that and really honest and transparent, that this is where you add value, instead of going the extra mile, and this extra mile could hurt you more than it could really benefit and make you trying to win, an extra buck or an extra, chance for another tender or another. This is something that I could take a simple example. Elon Musk is a brand now. Elon Musk, anything he does, you could saw. You saw what happened to Bitcoin when immediately what he said. You saw what happened to his stocks when immediately he comes. So he's a brand. He's moving that in. So this is this is an example. I hope that Naima, that we have really shade some light to what exactly you have highlighted. And if you have any questions, or anybody else has any questions.
Yeah, that's been fantastic. Thank you, Walid. Thank you, Anastasia. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone? Please feel free to unmute your mic and join, or share your feedback.
Yes.
On how are you doing currently in this market, like in this environment, I guess. Any challenges, aspirations, your goals, please feel free to share with us. Now is a good time. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm just reading some comments.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And then if you think of any other questions afterwards, you can always contact us on LinkedIn, or you can find us on Instagram. So my name is Anastasia_Bank_LND for London. So you can always get in touch and ask any questions later on if you want to.
It's a pleasure. I think so. Tim or anybody else would like. So thank you, everyone. I would like to thank you, Anastasia, for giving me the chance. Truly, to have an additional partner who really adds value to Businessway, like you, and to introduce it to the Saudi market. I hope everyone really benefited. We are recording this for everyone, even so. If you would like to share it, I will share it on all of our platforms. It will be on our YouTube and even on Anastasia's platform.
Yes, absolutely.
We feel free, as she said, to contact us. We will contact you at the beginning for everyone. If you would like to know more about our services or anything from our partnership, we are more than happy to share that. Everyone, wishing you a healthy week. We are just starting this week. Keep safe, please, everyone. Anastasia, thank you again.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Giving me a time. And I really appreciate that you give me another chance to do another thing, if we can do that, because I'm really anxious to utilize you. I know you have a very beautiful experience that I think so. We really here in Saudi in need of really a person like in your knowledge. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity of that.
You're welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, guys, to join us. Thank you for your time. And like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with me or Walid directly, and then we'll take it from there. But other than that, have a lovely week, and we'll speak soon with you. And look forward to the recording as well afterwards.
Take care. See
you.
All
right. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.